here's a way to start it off if you just went live, Matt, or not Matt, but Shane.
Yeah.
Is if Carson Wentz, if the Chiefs 3P, that means Carson Wentz has 2 Super Bowl rings for being the
Gosh,
backup.
I hate that
Sounds
that's
like
how we're starting this episode.
sounds exactly like the recipe from Jimmy Garoppolo.
How many rings does Jimmy G have? By the way, welcome everyone. We're live, by the way. We've been live so everyone heard that.
He has 2.
Carson Wentz.
Jimmy G has 2 Super Bowl rings, right, Matt? Like the rest.
Yes.
2015 and
I
2017.
was like our resident Patriots fan.
Yep.
I hate
Hey.
Jimmy G.
Hey, there's a couple of former Jaguars that have a Super Bowl ring.
Great.
Jawan Taylor, who we drafted, which he is a horrible tackle, and I don't know how. Ugh. And then Chad Henne.
Do the Bears have any recent?
Probably, but I think the question is, like, were they a prominent Bears player, or were they, like, just a signed, like, was there for a year or two and then went somewhere else?
No, I'm thinking more like ones that they drafted, and I mean,
Ooh.
Leonard Floyd has. Oh, I think Leonard Floyd actually has a ring. Yeah, I think he has one with the Rams.
Yeah, the most recent Jaguar I would say is Jawan Taylor.
Yeah.
Anyways,
If the
The
Bills win the
Dolphins
Super Bowl,
only have Cordell Patterson.
if the Bills win the Super Bowl, then Mitchell Trubisky gets a ring.
that. Hey, does Cody Parkey get a ring?
No, I don't think so. He's been out of the league for a hot minute.
I was gonna say, how funny would it be if he lost you guys your Super Bowl appearance and then went somewhere and got a ring?
I don't know if he would have made it to the Super Bowl, but whatever. Bears gonna Bears, man. At least we beat the Packers finally.
After what, 8 years was it?
6.
I was like, it was 6 or 8.
Yeah, but it was like 11 years since we won at Lambeau, though.
Yeah, but that does bring us, because we've had a lot of changes, and I think one of the big things I want to kick off with is the coaching carousel. We got interviews under the way. The most prominent name is Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and there are 4 teams that he is interviewing with, that are at least confirmed. He's interviewing with the Raiders, the Patriots, the Jaguars, and the Bears. And honestly, I think the Raiders are kind of the bottom pick, and the other 3, I think he can realistically go to any of those 3, but I think it's gonna be a race between the Jaguars and the Bears, honestly.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
I say that because I think the Patriots are gonna grab Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I think they've got pretty good odds there. Matt, how do you feel about that pick?
50-50, but
Yeah.
it's probably going to happen just because he played there. Like, that seems like what they're doing.
I mean,
Right
Vrabel did good with the Titans for the Titans having, like, nothing.
Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback.
And mess with Bill Belichick every chance he could, which was fun to watch.
Yeah, apparently Brady has been... This is just a rumor and high speculation. Apparently Brady's been trying to talk Bill Belichick to go coach the Raiders.
It's like a death sentence.
Well, I mean,
It
Brady's
wouldn't-
part owner of the Raiders, so I find it funny.
It wouldn't be surprising, though, if Brady's also talked to Vrabel about going to go coach
Right.
at the Raiders as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just more curious on, like, how the Raiders are in the midst for a lot of these, like, top-tier names, because, like, the Ben Johnson, it's like, out of the 4 teams, I'm like, the Jaguars, the Bears, and the Patriots all have young talent, good draft capital, and a pretty decent roster with good cap space available, and the Raiders are just kind of garbage.
The Raiders are a little stuck.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm like, a lot of the top coaching candidates, I don't feel confident in.
Yeah.
I will say I'm definitely eyeing one of the coordinators for the Lions as my next coach.
I think it'll be interesting to see how a lot of it plays out. We're going to see a lot of the hirings come in, obviously, once we really cleared through much of the playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Bears have already done, what, like 6 different interviews?
Yeah, because there's been a couple of, like, internal interviews that they've done. They interviewed Pete Carroll today.
I know that one kind of scares me a
Really?
little bit.
Well, Pete Carroll actually wants the job. He's publicly come out and said he wants to coach the Bears.
There's been a
Um,
few
Interesting.
teams, or there's been a few players that for the Bears. I'm like, I didn't know they had them on their radar.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Hey, shifting gears really quickly though, it still stays on the subject of coaching. There's also a couple of teams that I think there was a potential expectation of them firing their head coach, and that wasn't done. The big one that I'm thinking of, for example, is the New York Giants. They're keeping Dable on, but it's kind of a you better figure it out this season and to make it or break it. Another one is it's still up in the air with Mike McCarthy.
And the Raiders did fire their GM today, though.
Yes, right after they fired their coach.
Yep. Oh, also,
It's
Mike
really
Vrabel
surprising.
did interview for the Bears head coach spot as well.
Right. Yeah.
I think on the subject, since we've hit on it a few times with the Raiders, I think they're going to make some big splashes in the
they
offseason.
gotta.
They have finally they got enough cap space. The estimated is about 100 million.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I
You
need to
get-
pull up the cap space to see.
Decent-ish coach, but they need to spend some money in the offseason. Snag some people at the end of their contracts, pick up free agents. And I feel like Tom Brady, even though he's not known to make big contracts, I feel like he'll probably bring in some big stars.
Oh, yeah, the
And,
Raiders have like one of the best cap spaces out of everyone right now.
Patriots
the
have the
thing
best,
is-
baby.
For 2025, Raiders have the best for 2026, and Patriots drop
Oh.
all the way down.
Yeah, they gotta pay a few people.
And then Raiders also are number 4 for 2027, so they got a lot of cap space to play with.
The coach will be the big thing, and then if they do successfully manage to hire their quarterback of the future, I think is the thing. The thing that the Raiders also have going for them, and again, I don't think this is necessarily I'm not fully saying this is a dig against Jacksonville or Chicago, but the idea of going to Vegas is more intriguing than those other two options. And also, I've heard that at least within the league, there is kind of a stigma of if you play a certain position, if you go to Chicago or Jacksonville, you go there to die.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with the Raiders, not necessarily that belief just yet.
Yet.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I'm very interested because Ben Johnson, he has interviews with the Patriots, I think, on Saturday. And then he has an interview with the Bears Sunday morning, and then the Jaguars Sunday afternoon.
I'm going to try and mark off as much of it as he can here before they go into the divisional round.
I mean, they are virtual interviews, so I'm sure there'll probably be like another stage of interview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just very interested to see how the Jaguars approach this with the press conference and Khan just being like, hey, like, why will we get rid of Bulky? He's like, you know what? If a coach candidate comes up and gives me a good reason on why we should get rid of him, I'll consider it with Bulky right there. I'm like, this is a very, very interesting dynamic right now.
Yeah.
So we've still got a little bit of time to really see how things are going to shake out, of course, with these, with these coaching hires. But here, we've got Wild Card Weekend coming up here, just for this weekend.
We do.
And we do have some very intriguing matchups that I feel like are going to result in some highlights. I felt it a little unfortunate here. I was telling Tyler today that I'm going to be camping this weekend, and I didn't realize when this was all planned. I was like, oh, holy crap, that's the same weekend as 8 different games, 6 NFL and 2 college. Oh,
That's to suck.
right? No, but honestly. I think there's a lot we can talk about here. I'm interested to see if we will have anyone who is essentially feeling differently. If we have some mixed opinions here on some of these matchups.
We do on a couple.
But I think, I feel like let's just go into it without further ado. We can kind of talk. We'll really be talking about how it is possible for each team in every matchup to get a win here, what is going to kind of stick out as far as big factors going into the game for each team. And really, that's going to be the gist of it for our entire episode. We don't have a for the fun this week. We really just want to dive in, do a deep dive on all of these teams. So, without further ado, let's kick it off here with our first one, which is the number 4 seed, our AFC South Division champion, Houston Texans, versus the number 5 Los Angeles Chargers, and it's being played in Houston. Gentlemen, let's get our picks out of the way here first. I'm just looking at our document right now, and we are all in agreement, so I'm just going to say it for what it is. All 4 of us believe the Chargers are going to win this game.
Oh, sorry. Just kidding.
Gosh.
Let's start that conversation off that way, though. Why do we all think it's the Chargers?
It has to be.
I mean,
in my opinion,
I don't think it has to be. Honestly, I think this is one of the closer matchups.
I think CJ Stroud just played like absolute dog crap, and Chargers just gonna roll them. It's what it is. Now, disclaimer: I'm so sorry I bring it up this early, but
Oh boy.
if the NFL really wants it, the Texans will win by some stupid calls, and it'll make it easier for the Chiefs.
Well, I mean,
That's all I'm gonna say, because the Chargers will give them a run for their money. It'll make it a good game the next round, but if we're on my consistent conspiracy psychopath theory, I could see them 100% making sure the Texans win to make it an easier matchup.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, because I think it's more comes down to if CJ Stroud steps up and gets over his sophomore slump, I think the Texans will be fine, but they also have a lot of injuries. They have some other issues going on right now.
The defense has regressed too.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Here's my thoughts on it. I do think that the Chargers are going to win this game, but I think part of it that does need to come into play though for the Chargers is the foot on the gas principle. Don't think that the Texans will go quietly. I was talking with Tyler about this today too. I do think that the Chargers need to go in this with the mindset of, hey, let's not reactivate PTSD. Let's not do what we did 2 years ago where we were the 5 seed and we were dominating, and then the AFC South champion who was the 4 seed. Don't remember what team it was or anything, but
No, don't remember at all.
managed to upend them, just completely come back. And it's funny, Shane. I've mentioned this to you before. I've got my cousins who listen to this podcast who are diehard Chargers fans. Boy, do they hate you.
Yeah, we talked about it because my mom's a Charger fan as well.
Yeah.
See, Tyler, that's how your team is supposed to win.
Oh, are you sure? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to give up after halftime. That's what I've been told.
That's what the Chargers did as well, and it did not work out.
See, they know how to play a good game. You give up after halftime, and if you happen to get enough points to stay in the game, you win.
If I remember correctly, too, the Chargers had scored. It was 27-0 at halftime.
27-0.
Yep, and then what was it? I know it wasn't exactly
32-27 or 30-27,
Oh,
I think.
for the final score. But the other thing that I was thinking of is I know it wasn't 28-3 until the fourth quarter, but it wasn't looking good at halftime either.
No, it wasn't. Everyone was
I mean-
telling me crap. In the third quarter, people were like, "Oh, it's over." Your team lost.
Nothing will compare to the Vikings choking. What was that 40-point lead they had over the Colts?
Oh, the Colts. That was bad.
I think it was 40.
It was a 33-point lead, actually. It was 33-0.
I mean, that's pretty brutal.
Not
too.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me get the specifics behind that. Yeah, it was a 33-0 halftime deficit to win at 39-36 in overtime. Or to come back in NFL history.
That's painful.
Not as painful as 28-3.
It is not as painful. I hold all record. I am the champion of painful.
I don't know. You could be a Browns
Just one
fan.
more thing. My favorite part of that game is when the owner came down on the Falcons and he's high-fiving his teammates like, "We did it! We're so good!" And then you see his face after they lost. priceless.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you could
Pride
be a Browns
cometh
fan.
before the fall.
There's
Yeah,
nothing more
that's true.
painful than being a Browns fan.
That I believe. There is
Pretty
no
close to
doubt
being
in
a
my
Bears
mind that
fan,
that's
but
true.
not as bad.
At least the Bears
I
have
think-
won.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think actually what's worse these days is being a Jets fan.
Oh,
Ugh.
true.
It's the new
So
era.
much hype.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything worse than being a team that's super hyped and then turns into nothing.
It's pretty rough for the Cardinals too. That's the oldest team in the NFL, and there's
Mhm.
no championship to show for it. Just continual heartache and disappointment.
I mean,
one
the-
Super Bowl appearance. That's it.
I mean, the Bills are, you could argue, is just as sad because, they're 0-4 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they've had some bright spots.
They have,
Vikings
but
are-
they always
Vikings
choke
are,
it.
yes, but the Vikings are 0-4 in the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, but we don't care about the purple incarnate of Satan.
The Bengals are 0-3. It's not much better there. Yeah. All right, so we're going back here to Texans and Chargers. We talked about how we said the Chargers just have more offensive weapons. They can move at a fast pace. If they keep their foot on the gas, they'll be able to win this game. How do the Texans make
It's
it
going
out
to
of this?
come
How
down
do
to
they get-
C.J. Stroud upping his game like he was his rookie year.
100%. If CJ Stroud has a bad game, they're screwed. If he has a decent game, they still may not pull it off.
Yeah, he has
And
to
you
have a
look-
good game.
And you look at his track record over the past several games, the past several weeks, and it's just not been good.
It's pretty
No.
bad.
Oh, yeah, because, that Christmas game was the real bad one.
It sure was.
Definitely did not help his case.
I think that kind of clears it out there that we're mostly in consensus here that there's not much that's going to happen here outside of an expectation that the Chargers will win this game and potentially give a chance here, depending on how the other two games go, to go and play the Chiefs.
Hooray!
Yeah.
So with that, let's move on to our next matchup happening on the same day, just later in the day. We've got our division rival matchup and meeting each other for the third time this season. You got the number 3 Baltimore Ravens, who won the AFC North, versus the number 6 Pittsburgh Steelers, being played in Baltimore. This feels
be an
like an
ugly
easy.
game.
This feels like an easy matchup to predict on paper because we would feel like the Steelers have really struggled here towards the end of the season, whereas the Ravens have really just seemed to get hot and play at a top level. Just some things to keep in mind here, though. Yeah, I was gonna say some things to keep in mind here. First of which is the it did split the series. Steelers won the first game. The Ravens won the second game. The other thing to keep in mind too is playoff records and playoff performances. And Lamar Jackson does not have a good record.
Nope.
Yeah.
Arguably the worst you could say maybe the Bills, and poor Josh Allen, but I would say the Ravens probably have the more painful postseason record. Or, well, maybe just experience as far as close calls and everything.
Yeah, the Ravens. I would say it's probably more sad for the account of the Ravens. The Bills. Their biggest problem is it's just if they run into the Chiefs, that's
Right.
where the problem starts up. The Ravens. Yes, it was the Chiefs last year for them, but it's also. The Bills have caused the Ravens problems before. The Titans upset them when they were the 1 seed during Lamar's first MVP season.
Right.
It's a little worse for them, I feel
Right.
like.
Well, we gotta focus a little bit on the Steelers. Like I think it comes down to Wilson. If he has a bad game, they're toast.
And
Like
see,
he
I
has
feel like
to play well enough because obviously Lamar's gonna play well. I think the deciding factor is gonna be Derrick Henry. If he can light it up and run all over the Steelers, which last game, didn't turn out too well, but I think that's going to be, for me at least, I think that's the deciding factor. If they can keep the run game up and Lamar's throwing it well, the two-headed monster is just going to take out the Steelers.
I think that's where the issue is, because I don't know if you guys saw this today, but their number one wide receiver, Zay Flowers, is ruled out for this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did see that.
And
So-
Bateman dropped everything, so...
So
Yeah.
it's going. The Ravens kind of transforming into a more one-dimensional run team. I feel like the Steelers, who have arguably the best defense in the league right now, they're gonna be able to contain a little bit, and they know their divisional opponent really well. So I think it's gonna be closer than a lot of people think it will be.
I would
See,
counter
that's
that
where-
by saying that
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
Ravens, they have more weapons than just Zay Flowers, though.
Oh yeah,
I don't think you could just say, "Oh, Zay Flowers," because you look at him, and while he's been a fairly consistent target, I wouldn't say that he's ever been the sole target. They've never had this connection with him and Lamar, where it's like, "Oh, and of course he's going to his man Zay Flowers." It always seems like he spreads it around, and so while I think he's an important part of their offense, I by no means think he's going to be a vital part.
You know, I'm going to add one more thought to this too. Matt, you touched earlier on. You think that the Steelers, like if they're going to do well, it's going to come down to how Russell Wilson plays. I actually disagree. I feel like if the defense goes up to the level that they were at the beginning of the season, and are, you know, especially the first time that they played the Ravens, that's going to be the big indicator there as far as could they potentially get the win. They did not play well the last time they played the Ravens.
Right.
Maybe
Well,
they've learned from their mistakes. They've studied their film. I feel like if the defense is able to step up, maybe get a couple of takeaways, they cause Lamar to fumble the ball.
Right.
That's going to be a big thing.
Right. But what I'm saying with Wilson, like, could he be on the field long enough to give his defense a break?
Mm.
That's where I'm like, he's got to be able to at least convert and keep them moving. Because if not, then they have a lot of 3-and-outs, or he's turning it over. Like, yes, the Steelers' defense is phenomenal, but I feel like if they're running you into the ground with options with and then you have running the option a lot, or doing like the short outs with with their tight end, or having Derrick Henry run the ball a lot and just wear him down, that would be a problem down the road.
I could agree on that.
And I don't know how healthy TJ Watt is after just the 1 week of rest, but you got to take that into consideration. Like, is he 100%? And having him on the field a lot, will that mess up his ankle even more?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he doesn't have to get touchdowns, but I feel like Russell Wilson has to keep them moving and converting. Because, yes, obviously you need a score to win, but keep the offense for the Ravens off the field.
Yeah, that'll be a big thing.
Do you
Now,
think that this? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I answered my own question, so I'd actually prefer that you continued.
Fair enough.
I just feel at this point it just still seems like the Ravens will get the win. I would agree that it'll be closer than we think because it's a division matchup. You know what I mean? But it'll be close. I'm also fully predicting that that's going to be a horrible game to be at weather-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll make my future prediction right now. Whoever
Sure.
gets the first 2 turnovers loses.
Mm.
Yeah.
You watch. First one to give up 2 turnovers they'll lose.
I mean, yeah, on paper you look at that and you say, well, duh, but like, no, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Both teams are going to have turnovers.
Yeah.
Fully expect it.
So,
Let's keep it moving here. Next up, we've got, now into the Sunday games, we've got the number 2 Buffalo Bills versus the number 7 Denver Broncos. The Broncos' first return to the playoffs, and they won the Super Bowl. This game's at Highmark Stadium, another horrible place to play in the winter. Broncos are probably more up to the challenge, though, than other teams may be. Let's be real here. But this is a number 2 and a number 7 matchup, and what I like about this matchup here is you have an explosive offense with the Bills, but you have a capable defense on the side of the Broncos. It's kind of similar to what we saw with the Ravens and Steelers. Good offense versus a good defense. They're not division rivals here. Now,
Right.
Matt, you didn't answer anything here, so I do at least want to get your pick out of the way here at the beginning with this. But who do you think will win this?
I can't decide. That's why I left it blank. Because yes, part of me, I want the Bills. I want them to run through the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, and win.
How
But-
does that feel as a Patriots fan?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Wow.
Because I have a very good friend that's a Bills fan, and he's never been disrespectful or annoying.
I
Yeah,
I
like
can
that.
sympathize. I can sympathize with that because I feel the same way about the Detroit Lions. I'd be okay with them running
Everyone
through.
loves the Detroit Lions. They were the pitiful
Right.
losers that now everyone loves.
Yes,
Right.
Shane, but remember they are a division rival of the Bears.
Yeah, but I mean, if we also look back to what the Chiefs were like 10 years ago, they were kind of in the Lions' position where they sucked and people kind of laughed at them, and now everyone's kind of sick of them winning.
Yes,
Yeah.
but when they won their first Super Bowl, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I know what we're excited for the Chiefs. That's great." Then when
They didn't
I'll be
stop.
honest with you, yeah, then it kind of it stopped. Well, because the very next Super Bowl was between the Chiefs repeating, which I think people get fatigued with that, but on the other side of the ball was Tom Brady, and everyone got a little fatigued of that too.
Hmm
That's why I think people thought Rams and Bengals was a little refreshing, but the Bengals had to beat the Chiefs in the
Daddy-
championship game.
Put little boy in his place. So
I would love a Jaguar
Just saying.
Lions Super Bowl, just cat fight.
Here we go. Yes, talk about the Jaguars again.
Okay, there's two teams in the AFC that haven't been to the Super Bowl yet. One's the Texans and one's the Jaguars. What do you want me to pick
Yeah.
from?
Browns. Come on, dude.
Why would I even want to count the Browns? They don't deserve anything.
Just saying, you're bringing up the Jaguars in the Super Bowl, and I feel like
Okay,
Billy Bean and Moneyball still.
Browns
Technically,
don't deserve a happy ending. Okay.
technically, the Browns
Oh, I see
won.
what you did there. That was horrible.
Gosh, the Browns won before the Super Bowl era. They would win the championship, so I'm counting that in their book.
1951.
Hey, they
Right.
still won a championship. They were the best team in the league at that point.
Had a killer running back. That'll do it.
Do you think that this will be the hardest match for both of these teams if they continue through the gauntlet?
Yes.
Yeah. Whoever. Well, okay. Broncos and Chiefs, I still feel like is going to be interesting because that's what you get if with division matchups.
I believe.
Oh god.
See that like everywhere.
Here we go.
I'm debating on muting
Yeah.
you for that.
No, I have been a support. I've loved Bo Nix.
Yeah, I drafted him in a lot of leads.
Yeah, I really wanted him to go to the Patriots. Didn't work out, but I think he's doing really well, and that's why I'm like, okay, if he has a lights out game, they could keep up with the Bills. But the deciding factor is the potential MVP. If he balls out,
Yeah.
it's game over.
And he
Right.
will. I think the Bills are too good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if he balls out, it's a guaranteed 100% they're gonna win. If he plays good, they're gonna win. It's just, yeah, it's a tough matchup to decide. I'll lean a little bit more towards the Bills, but I'm undecided right now.
I think Bo Nix would have to play out of his mind to win. He can't do good. He has to do amazing.
Right.
And I think the problem is on the other side with the Bills. This is easily. I recognize that you would look at it and maybe say that maybe this isn't the most impressive Bills team of all time, but I actually think that it is. I believe
they're
that this
the
is
top. They're in the top 3 of teams for the league right now.
Well, they have the high scoring that they've been able to do in this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I just feel like they've been able to play at a top level because you talk about. I was reading. One of the most impressive offensive teams we've seen, of course, was that 2013 Broncos team. With what 73 passing touchdowns.
Something like that.
Yeah, the runner-up, the silver medal, is the Detroit Lions this year with how many passing touchdowns they have done. And we have
Dang.
to remember, the Bills outdueled them.
Yeah.
The Bills outplayed them and got more touchdowns. And it was a 48-41 scoring game.
That was a
Bills,
great
when they
game.
need to turn on the offense, they can turn on the offense.
And plus, I feel like we need the Cinderella story of the Bills come face the Chiefs and finally, after many, many years of losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs, they finally beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I would certainly hope so. I feel like this is the best team to do it though, because the thing is now with Stephon Diggs gone, there's not so much this whole thing of it's like get me the ball, get me the ball. You know what I mean? I think it's a thing of it's like now Josh Allen feels comfortable spreading the love as well as taking the ball himself. He's got James Cook. The defense isn't as good as it used to be, but it still gets the job done. On top of that, their biggest kryptonite, seems to be the Chiefs, and
True.
I think it'll be indicative. We'll have to kind of see what happens here when the Chiefs have their first playoff matchup, because I know we said it last year where we said, hey, the Chiefs aren't that good. They're going to get bounced in the first or second round of the playoffs, and they didn't. They turned the Jets on as soon as soon as the playoffs kicked off, really. But I feel like despite their struggles and the 3 seed that they only managed to get last year, they were a better offensively performing team last year than they were this year. They relied a lot on the defense this year, and they haven't necessarily been super good on offensive scoring output. That could be
They
problematic.
haven't had a single 30-point game all year.
That could be problematic when you have. I don't care how good the Chiefs' defense is at this point.
Right.
That I don't care when we get to the point of how we've seen the potential that the Bills have had to score at a high level. Yes, I get it. It's the Bills won in the regular season, and traditionally the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season, and then the Chiefs kick the crap out of the Bills in the postseason. I feel like if it is going to be different at any point in time, it'll be this year.
Do you care if the refs are on their game for that matchup?
The refs didn't. They didn't. If it were saying anything with the refs, it didn't. The refs didn't have any involvement in letting the Chiefs win when they played them in the regular season.
Yep, I will say I still love that Chiefs-Bills matchup from like 2 to 3 years ago. It was phenomenal.
That was wild.
Now, I will say one thing, McKay. Like, it's kind of on the subject, but it's something that you said. I'm actually really offended that you didn't mention the 2007 Patriots as one of the greatest offensive teams in a season.
We were talking
I'm
about.
super offended. You went to the Lions. You went to.
No. Oh, I'm talking about. Okay, I think you missed the point. I'm talking about it was for passing touchdowns. If you go by the sheer number of passing touchdowns, at number 1 is the 2013 Denver Broncos with 73. At number 2, I think with like 68 is this year's Lions. That's what I was referring to.
68 touchdowns?
Yeah, the 2007 Patriots only threw 50. Oh wait,
I was
the New
checking
England Patriots has 75 total touchdowns in 2007.
I wonder if that
Lions,
is
the
including
Lions only
regular
have
season.
Stats.
39 touchdowns this season.
What was I reading then? What was I reading?
I was like, I could be wrong.
Were you reading
That's why
touchdowns?
That's why I stayed quiet. Overall touchdowns, yeah, they're in like, they're. Oh, wait, dude. Yeah, they're in the They're in the 50 or.
They have scored 70
something.
touchdowns this season.
Yeah, overall, but passing TDs, it's only 39.
Oh, this is what we're looking at. So most touchdowns in a single season, it was 76 for the Denver Broncos in 2013. But then they say in a season by a team in general. So I think that's also including the defense. The Detroit Lions have scored 128 touchdowns since 2023, both by a team in that time period.
Okay.
That's what it was referring to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I was like, wow, you just didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, because we don't need
Okay.
to.
Yeah. Go.
So, long story short, we're in favor. It seems like a thing with like the Broncos. Yes, it's cool he made the playoffs, but I think that was the win in and of itself for the Broncos.
Right, proving that they could.
Yes, and the Bills, they've broken the losing streak of not making it to the playoffs. Now it's just the Jets that we're waiting on. They're the only ones who haven't made it within a decade.
It's gonna be a few more years.
It is. But we're thinking that the Bills will come away with this win. My one question I do have to ask, though, before we do move on to our other teams, though, is do you believe this matchup, gentlemen, would be different if the number 7 seed was the Cincinnati Bengals?
I
The way they're
still
playing
think the
now,
Bills
it would be
win. I think the Bills would still win, but the Bengals will put up a better fight.
That's kind of tough. Yeah,
Tough.
it'd be more of a
Tough.
shootout, I think, if that was the matchup.
Yep, for sure.
But sadly, the Bengals do what they do every year and have a very, very slow start, and it costs them at times.
Yep. Just wait, they just need a weak schedule
Yeah, 'cause
at the
that's-
beginning of the year.
I was gonna say, because here's the thing, though. It's just with the Bengals. Yes, they always start off slow, and it's not good. But the other side of the ball is just sometimes they just came out just straight up unlucky. I mean, they start off the season okay. They probably should have beaten the Patriots, and they didn't. That Chiefs game, we've talked about that one before.
The Bengals have the opposite luck of the Chiefs.
The toe.
Yep. But here's another part of it too. Yeah, their first matchup with the Ravens that went into overtime. It was 41-38. Like that. I mean, that says something there. That could have been close. And then the next time they met with the Ravens, final score was 35-34.
Yeah.
It was that close. It was 34-27 against the Chargers. 44-38 against the Steelers. Like, it's just these incredibly interesting games where it's like they should have gotten the win because they played at a high enough level to do it, but they came out on the wrong side. The only few that I'm seeing here where it's looking at it and I'm saying, okay, they actually did come out on the right side by the time the game was over, was their game against the Cowboys, where they won by a touchdown, was their game in overtime against the Broncos, and there was that really close game against the Steelers this past week.
Yeah.
They also came out just barely on the wrong side against the Commanders. The final score was 38-33. Like, it was very close. Technically against the Patriots, it was close too. It was 16-10. I mean, they were just unlucky.
Yeah. Well, and Joe Burrow has mentioned a few times, or at least some of the players mentioned a few times, that it's not really the offense that's killing them. So I feel like in any of those games, if the defense didn't screw up just as much, they would have won easily.
I would argue that to some extent, though, it was part of the offense that was the issue, and not from the offensive weapons side, but apparently it was a Bengals offensive lineman who actually wins the Triple Crown for most sacks, most pressures, and most hurry-ups allowed.
Oh, yeah. First across the board. It's pretty bad.
Yep. That's bad. That's really bad.
Doesn't
all right.
When it comes contract time,
Oh, not at all. And yet it's so funny because you want to know what my honest thought was when I saw that statistic? As I said, watch, the Bears are going to sign him this next season.
Yeah. Get him cheap,
Yep. Oh, man. Okay, moving on here. We got our other 2 versus 7 matchup. We got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers in Philly. I think a lot of our agreement here is that the Eagles will win mostly because the Packers haven't necessarily been that impressive in key matchups against well-playing teams this season. And then we now have the concern of, one, Jordan Love's health, and also the fact that they have lost Christian Watson to season-ending injury.
True.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Packers are gonna win.
Yeah. Arrested Saquon is a good Saquon.
Yep.
So.
Well, and then I think the biggest thing to look back on is, I'm gonna have my little bit of my laugh here about the fact that the Packers played their starters against the Bears because they wanted to stick it to the Bears, and they still lost, and then they had some of their key players get hurt. Haha, that sort of thing. But another part of this too is, and I've mentioned it before, the Packers. If we have the opposite situation of what happened in their first matchup with the Bears, where that game-winning field goal is not blocked, the Packers would be 0-6 against their divisional opponents.
How
Furthermore,
beautiful that would have been.
Yeah. And instead, they're 1-5, which is not great either. But on the other side too, I'm going to take a look here at the Packers schedule this year just to make sure I am getting this right here. But against teams that are here in the playoffs, if I remember correctly from what I read the other day, they only have one single win against the team that is in the playoffs, and that was against the Rams when they were without both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So they were just badly beat up. I look at some of their other teams that they played. They did beat the Texans.
I was gonna say they
just
beat
barely.
the Texans, but
They did beat the Texans, but they lost, to the Lions and the Vikings both times. Let's see. Let's take a look at who else here. That's kind of the big one, and then they lost to the Eagles.
yep. Which, I mean, the only way the Packers would face the Texans if both of them made it to the Super Bowl, and I'd be shocked if that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I know we said we'd be shocked now at this point, but I do remember, Shane, at the beginning of this season, or no, it was the end of last season, we said, who's going to be an MVP candidate for next year? And our top two picks were C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love. That aged well.
Sophomore slump for Stroud.
Hindsight is 2020.
That aged so poorly.
But it's not the worst thing I've heard. I also heard people at the start of the season saying that Aaron Rodgers would be MVP.
And last year.
Yeah, and look at us now.
Dude, I knew Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. That was a joke.
I remember so many people believed in CMC.
Yeah.
And it made a lot of people mad when the 49ers lied on the injury report.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that, kind of consistent, though, from what I remember with him? When he was with Carolina, he played amazing one year, and then he's injury prone the next.
Yeah, we just didn't
he
think
was
he would-
injury prone basically all of Carolina.
We
Oh,
just
see,
didn't
but that's
think
how it
would
worked. He'd
happen.
have one good season,
Yeah.
and then he'd get hurt, and then be gone.
He didn't even have one good season. He was usually hurt throughout the entire season every year he was there.
Or at least at some point. But the thing is I don't know, you were thinking that it wouldn't happen with the 49ers because he wouldn't have to put the team on his back.
Right.
Anyway, we picked that the Eagles are going to win this game. Do we see any scenario here where the Green Bay Packers could win?
The Eagles just play bad. That's the only scenario I have is the Eagles just do not play well.
I mean,
Offensively or defensively?
Yes.
I like it. I like that answer. Yes. I agree. Yes.
Because I think their defense, while decent, is not good enough to stop the Steelers completely. And so I think if they even have a small tick off in their offensive play, I think maybe the Steelers make this a game. And I don't think there's any way. I see this going two ways. The Eagles
the
blow them
Packers.
out.
I was just
Or,
saying,
yes, thank you.
The Packers,
Thank
not,
you.
not the Steelers.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Either the Eagles blow them out or it's a tight game.
So, a normal game where it's either a blowout or a tight game.
No. Sorry. Just it's a blowout for the Eagles. Well, I'm just saying the Eagles either blow them out, or if the offense doesn't play quite to their caliber, I could see Packers making this a game, and maybe that's how they pull this off. I think they've got enough offensive talent that they could keep up because their defense isn't there. It's just a matter of can they slow down the Eagles' offense.
I think
And-
the Packers have to make a deal with the devil in order to win.
I mean, could they potentially shut down the run game? I think their throwing game is decent, but I think if they can shut down the running game, I think they've got a shot.
They got to talk to the Chiefs and see how much money the reps are paid for. All right,
Oh
let's
my
move
goodness.
on. I don't want to talk about the Packers just getting shredded.
Okay, how about number 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus number 6 Washington Commanders? This is in Tampa Bay. Hey, this is a good one because from what I'm seeing here, I'm just going to call it out here so we can have a debate about it. Matt and Tyler, you guys picked the Bucks. Shane and I picked the Commanders.
And I'll say
Have a chat here.
before we
Y'all
dive
are
into
crack.
it, the popular vote that I've been seeing is that a lot of people are taking the Buccaneers, and I just want to hear their side because I'm very curious on that.
Baker is going to go off.
Baker's gonna bake.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Baker's
he's
gonna
gonna go.
bake.
He's gonna go nuts. You watch. Like he wants to prove himself that he's a capable, top tier quarterback, and I just don't think. I don't think the Commanders have a chance.
I think Commanders have a good chance. I'm not ruling out the Commanders. I would not be surprised to see them win this game. Like, I by no means have a lot of confidence in my choice, but I also think that, much like my comrade in decisions just said, Baker's going to bake. And I think the Commanders have been inconsistent this season. I think they've shown moments where they are a killer team that can just play lights out, but that's not every week. And while I don't know what makes the difference in that play, we could see that inconsistency show up here. Whereas I think the Buccaneers have been pretty dang consistent, being able to go in, play the game, get her done.
I mean,
I'd agree with that. The Buccaneers kind of seem to like get hot here right towards the end where they can score high. The thing is I just feel like in this situation, my personal thought about is what's going to happen here is when push does come to shove, the Commanders are going to show up here in the moment, especially Jaden Daniels.
which Jaden Daniels has, as we've seen, was at least 2 games through a Hail Mary that went well.
Well, yeah, it's kind of no. He got lucky.
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Let's
be honest.
He didn't get lucky. I'm just saying.
It
like,
was against the Bears.
No,
Come on.
he's done it twice. He has done it twice this year.
I would like to argue, however, that this is Jaden Daniels' first time to a playoff season. This is his first postseason ever. He's going in. We have yet to see him play in a postseason, and this is his first year in the NFL. How is that going to translate? Is it going to get to him? He's been pretty cool so far, but he goes up against a really good team like the Bucs. Is he going to be able to stay in the game, or is he going to psych himself out?
Let me counter with the fact that it was C.J. Stroud's first year in the playoffs as a rookie last year.
And he almost knocked out the Chiefs.
Well, there was. Oh, he didn't.
I say almost. The team gave up.
They didn't even play the Chiefs in the playoff. No, they lost to the Ravens in the divisional round.
Oh, I don't know what
But
I'm thinking then.
The first part, though, is they played a comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco, and also one of the top defenses in the NFL in the Cleveland Browns. And Stroud lit them up. Oh,
That's fair.
absolutely.
But of all the things, Stroud definitely has a cool head. I may not think he's the best quarterback ever, but he definitely plays pretty level-headed, in my opinion. So I think that's a place he could excel.
And I'll say this, the Commanders and the Buccaneers did play against each other this season, but it was week 1, so it was Jaden Daniels' first ever start. And let me pull up the score. I think it was like 37-20, and that was week 1. So Commanders, they might be looking at for a little bit of payback on this, especially with Jaden Daniels having a full season under his belt now.
I think this game can go in one of 2 ways. I think if it's going to be the Commanders who are going to end up winning, it's going to be close, and the Commanders are barely going to escape. The other scenario is the Bucs completely blow. I'm choosing to look at the one where the Commanders just barely escape. Mainly because I do feel like we need to pick one team here, in my opinion, that does have a chance of upsetting as a wild card seed going against the division champion. And because on the other end, too, I do believe it's possible. Not guaranteeing it, but I do believe it's possible.
Oh, ye of great faith. Good for you.
Nice.
All right, and with that, let's go here into our very last one, which is the number 4 Los Angeles Rams versus the Minnesota Vikings. And obviously, for those who have been paying attention, we did get word only a couple of hours ago that this game will be moved to State Farm Stadium, the Cardinal Stadium in Arizona, because of the wildfires in Los Angeles.
Somewhat neutral field. It'll be interesting because the Cardinals and the Rams are in the same division, so the Rams go there more often than the Vikings would. But that's also their divisional opponent. I don't know how many people would travel out for that.
And it's the most expensive game, by the way. Fun fact.
Really?
$250.
Why?
Holy cow!
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, why is it $250?
I would think
LA.
like the Texans and the
next-
Chargers or the Ravens
The
and
next
the
closest
Steelers.
is Philadelphia and Green Bay at 124.
I kind of get that
Green Bay.
one though.
The cheap Tampa Bay and Washington, $75.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There's not
You
many
know
fans on
why?
either team.
That's probably the game I'd be the most excited to go to. That's funny.
Right.
You know why it's
You
LA
could,
and
it's pretty
Minnesota?
cheap.
You know why that's the most expensive one?
Got to pay for
Why?
wildfires.
It's LA.
Jeez.
It's LA. Literally, it's just the marketability of LA.
Yeah,
But now
Yeah.
it's not in LA, so I wonder if that price will drop.
but it's winter in LA. I mean, it's cold. It's
No, it's
the West Coast.
No, it's not.
So it's not. And
It's
now
not
they're going to be in
cold.
Arizona too.
It's going to be nice weather down there.
It's hot
Yeah.
there right now. Ugh.
Oh,
I've been to
geez.
LA in January. It's not nice weather.
No,
It's-
they're in
Yeah,
Arizona.
Gabe's
there's a-
referring to the fact that it's a little warm there right now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which
okay.
hopefully everyone is doing okay out there. I know a lot of things are bad right now.
They're
Yeah.
burning up.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
a little distracted.
But
I
I
just
will
went
say-
right over my head.
Out of this little matchup, though, I will say I'm the only one that picked the Rams to win. So
And you'd be wrong.
I think it's certainly possible.
I don't know.
I lost a lot of faith in the Vikings after that game against the Lions, so I think it's possible.
Yeah,
I mean, Dan Campbell did walk up to the Vikings head coach and was just like, "Hey, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks," and I'm just like, "Oof, they're
Yeah.
ready."
That's some confidence.
I think
Yeah.
the fact that you're counting them out and the Rams actually don't have a lot of people out.
That's fair.
Key.
I think this would be a good game.
Oh,
I
totally.
think it'll be a good game 100%, but I think the Rams will squeak it out.
I just don't know what kind of black magic the Vikings have used this season. Because at the start of the season, I thought they would be like 2-15 with the number 1 pick. I don't know what happened.
Well, you also have a really heavy baggage with the Vikings with Daniel Jones. I think he's going to be their curse. He's going to bring over all those losses from the Giants, and he's just going to rub it off on the Vikings and the Rams.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, the Vikings are like a healing ground because Sam Darnold was a horrible quarterback, and he went there, and all of a sudden, everything's perfect.
It's the cold weather. Makes you
Yeah.
tighten up and
Yeah,
everything you
it
do.
is. It is. It's the cold weather. It makes you play better.
Unless you're Tua.
I mean, like, it worked for Brett Favre, it worked for Rodgers. Why not?
Right?
I could see the Vikings taking this one. I think the fact that the Vikings, I have to disagree here. I feel like the Vikings look like on paper like they should be exactly where they are. I feel like they should have beat the Lions. They should be this high caliber team that should just be balling out. The fact that they only were able to score field goals against the Lions blows me away a little bit to
The
where
Lions'
I
second
like McKay.
/ third string defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty surprised. I don't really understand, but I admit that I could be wrong here, and the Rams could take this. I wouldn't mind seeing the Rams win, but I'm leaning for the Vikings.
It's okay. I'm taking notes to bring up.
You're mainly just rooting for Puka, aren't you?
No.
No, I want Matthew Stafford to keep going.
I do too. I like Matthew
Matthew
Stafford,
Stafford.
and I like Puka too. I like both of them.
Unfortunate, with his history, but I think he deserves a win. I feel like if everyone's counting him out, I don't know. I think it'll be a close game. It's gonna come down to like a final drive. I'm
I
predicting.
mean, I'll say this: a lot of the analysts are picking the Rams to win this one.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Right now, it's all Vikings though. They're at 53.9.
Is this the biggest betting odds, or
It's the matchup predictor, so it's E
Ah,
ESPN.
so it's the robots and not the actual analysts.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, the analysts are all saying the Vikings will lose.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, I always do love Goff Stafford matchups, so I wouldn't mind seeing
Yeah.
that because I
Good one, good
always love those games.
Yeah. Hey, that works out to the script, I think.
Yeah, with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, right?
That's
No.
true. I forgot the script. Maybe I need to switch over to the Rams. Now I'm having doubts. Picker's remorse.
It's gonna be a blue on blue Super Bowl, is what it's gonna be.
Nah. If anything, I'm gonna go purple and blue. 'Cause the
Purple and purple.
Ravens,
Ravens versus Vikings.
I'm
gosh.
okay with that.
I mean, what? I sent a message in the group chat. It was like the Ravens win a Super Bowl every like 13 years with the 28-year-old quarterback that does X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's that time.
it is. You're right. Let me go down to Vegas real quick.
I've seen some people doing some Vegas betting and was like, if this player does this, it was like they did a $10 bet, and if it works everything out in their favor, they get like $10,000. I'm like, sheesh.
Yeah. Some of them are pretty crazy. It's like, oh, who comes out of the tunnel first? Or
Oh no, it was like
what do they
it was
use?
like Saquon Barkley scores a or not a touchdown. He rushes for more than 5 yards every single quarter. Puka Nacua has at least 10 yards receiving every single quarter.
Yeah.
I'm
Those
just
are
like,
crazy
sheesh.
bets too.
But I'm like, $10 for a potential payout of $10,000? I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Careful, Shane. That's how they get you. That's how it starts.
I know it's how it starts. That's why I don't go to Vegas very often. I've been twice.
Oh man. Hey, with a little bit of time that we still have remaining, now that we've gone through these matchups here, do you guys want to close out here with a little bit of trivia?
Oh boy,
Yeah.
is it you with the trivia questions?
No, it shouldn't be me this time. Well, it shouldn't be me answering this time, just because.
I meant you asking.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
ask.
Is
Hey,
it
hey.
NFL trivia?
It is.
Oh boy.
I
Okay,
mean,
can I
who is-
start with a question though?
Goodness
I've
gracious.
got
go
a
for it.
great one. I've got a great one.
okay, I'm
Who
ready.
can tell me what Leroy Reynolds
Who?
means to each of us?
Who the heck is Leroy Reynolds?
Leroy Reynolds?
Let me guess. Is this a Falcons player?
As a matter of fact, he is the only player as a linebacker to have played for all 4 of our teams at one point during his NFL career.
I don't
Oh,
think I even
boy.
recognize him.
He was a walk-on his first year, and he kind of just
Oh, yeah,
rode the bench
there
the
he
rest
is
of
in
his
a Jaguar
career.
uniform.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
How
That's funny.
many years did he play in Jacksonville is going to be the next question. Okay.
It was like a year. He was at each of our teams for like a max of 2 years.
His numbers were 50, 50, 52, 55, 53, 55, 52.
He wore 56 in Jacksonville. Let's see here.
So there we go, guys.
I
We
like
can
it.
all share of our love of Leroy Reynolds.
Cost us the
Oh.
world. Just kidding.
Hey, here's how I've got this one stacking out. I'll kind of just go in a round here where I'll
Oh wow,
ask
he
each of
started
you.
with my team? Jeez.
Undrafted.
Yeah.
So, so
He
I'll
was
go
suspended
around.
for 4 games for violating NFL policy on performance-enhanced substances. So yeah, he means nothing to me.
What a
Yeah.
winner.
Oh,
Go ahead,
okay.
McKay.
Okay.
Anyway,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So I was gonna say, yeah, considering Shane couldn't shut up about this guy.
Hey. Hey, we both know I don't shut up about my team.
That's true. Very true. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do here. I'll kind of go in a circle. So I'll ask each one of you individually, and like, let's say if you don't know the answer to it, pass it to the next person in the group. You know what I mean? So I've got 2 ways that I can approach this. I've got the quarterbacks who have started a game this season, in the NFL. What we're going to be looking at is the college that they came from.
I'm out. I
Now,
know maybe
Shane, there's two
3.
different. Shane, there's two different ways we can go about this. I can either name the quarterback and you have to tell me the college, or I can name the college and you tell me the quarterback.
I would prefer the quarterback myself.
For me to name the
Right.
quarterback, you tell me
Yeah.
the college.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah, that's.
Matt, are you good with that?
Yep.
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 Okay, all right. Who's going first?
I'll go first because
I'm
I
ready.
can pass
Confident.
immediately.
All right. Hey, what starting quarterback this year went to the University of Kentucky?
Oh, I thought we were doing player. Oh yeah, Kentucky.
Right. I was supposed to do the player, so I did this wrong. But let's see if you can get this one just by name.
Wow,
the
you
alma
gave me the curveball one.
mater. I was like, wait, I am supposed to name the QB.
Oh, why do I feel like it's someone that I know but I don't really care about, but it's well known enough?
Because you'd be exactly correct.
Please tell me it's not like a backup who started for like 1 or 2 weeks.
It is not a backup QB.
Okay, so it's a QB1.
It is a QB1.
Kentucky.
You need his. You need.
I'll give you a
his
hint.
division.
Barely.
That doesn't.
Did you say the position already?
Well,
It's a
it's
QB.
quarterback.
QB.
Oh,
QB.
okay.
Is
I was
it-
like,
It's always going to be a
It's
QB.
not-
Do you need the division?
No, well, I mean, I probably would, but I'm just gonna take a guess. Is it Jared Goff?
It is not Jared
Ah,
Goff.
well, that was my best guess.
Okay, who are you passing it to?
I don't know who wants it.
I think I know who it is, but
Let's hear it.
I mean,
Take it.
is it who? Or is it what is, or is it who is? What's how do we do this? Is it
Who is?
Who is?
Who is?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if it was all. Anyway, who is Will Levis?
That is correct.
Oh, the Mayo man.
Mayo.
Wow.
The Mayo
Yeah.
man.
I
Wow.
told you, barely a starting quarterback.
Yep.
Oh, see,
Okay.
that's not why I picked up on it, but I don't care for the Mayo man, so definitely did not pay attention.
All right, Matt. Now I will start. I'll do what I was supposed to do, which is where I name the quarterback and you tell me the college. So, the quarterback that I have next on this list is Daniel Jones.
I think I actually know this one.
Daniel Jones.
I know this one.
Where did he go to college? If not, if you don't know it, pass it back to Shane, because Shane knows this one.
I do know this one.
I would say somewhere stupid. If
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's not a football school.
I'm like,
not a football school?
stupid for football, yes. Other things, no.
Well, with that hint, Shane, I would go with either UNC or Duke.
One of those is correct.
But which one?
50-50 chance here.
I don't know. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I don't want to say UNC, but let's go with UNC.
It's Duke.
It's Duke.
It's Duke. Okay, I think. Okay. I
Okay.
got close.
I'm like, I know Duke. That's the one thing I know.
All right, Shane.
Oh boy.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, Oregon.
Good job. All right. Tyler, you got kind of a tough one here next. You up for it?
Gardner Minshew. Just kidding.
No, he's
Here.
Washington.
Oh, Tyler just went on mute. So never mind. He must be busy right now. Okay, let's Matt, we'll throw this one back over to here. This one might be a little tough though, but Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Fucking the hell if I know.
Oh. I
Uh,
kind of know. I know the state, but that's all I know.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I know he's probably played in California.
Yeah, he did play in that from a team in California. It's a Mountain West
Jeez.
school.
Like when he played or currently?
No, like his alma mater is a Mountain West school. Always has been.
Always has been.
Always.
Yeah.
Mountain West. Good crap. Who's always
It's
still
never
there?
been a Power 5 school, that's for sure. Rule out UCLA, USC, one of those.
Right. What?
This one's probably one of the toughest ones here.
Mountain West always been.
In California, then that's got to be.
I would say Fresno State. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna shut up now. Fresno State.
That would be
From
correct.
the Mountain West, right? Yeah.
That would be correct. It was Fresno State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, back to you.
Uh-oh.
Anthony Richardson.
What was he? I remember very little. I remember so little.
I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but for some reason Cincinnati is coming to mind.
No.
That is incorrect. All right, it would be Shane taking it.
It's the Gators, baby.
Yep.
It is Florida.
Give me
Darn
Florida.
it.
I know.
Darn it.
All right, let's give you a shot at redemption here. Let's see. Sam Darnold.
Oh.
Ooh.
I feel like this is a layup, right? Oh no, wait, no. I'm thinking it's someone else.
Give me a conference.
I'm gonna get. This will probably help a little bit. It's Big Ten right now, but was Pac-12.
Yep.
What is USC?
Correct. Okay, Matt. This one's kind of a layup, but Trevor Lawrence.
I know this.
Trevor Lawrence?
I am disappointed if you don't know this one.
Of course he doesn't know this. We'd have to care about Trevor
why
Lawrence.
would I care about if he played in Clemson or not and won? Like, come on. Like, no one cares about that, right?
No one at all.
Did I win?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
Oh, I don't think I caught it. Did he say Clemson?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so like the guy
Okay.
that the one
Where
Oh,
did
man.
Travis Etienne play college?
Georgia?
Nope.
No,
Texas.
Clemson. Clemson.
No, yeah,
Clemson.
yeah,
Him
yeah,
and Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence were roommates.
Yeah, I would say
His brother plays at Georgia right now. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, his brother was playing for the Gators, and then I think he went to Georgia.
He's at Georgia right now. Okay, Shane, this next
Did
is for you.
Trevor
Where's
Lawrence win back-to-back in college?
No.
no, he did
The only
not.
one won.
Do you want to know who else played with Clemson?
Gosh.
Oh, that's where we were going. We're getting there
Oh, okay. I'll stay quiet. I'll stay quiet. I already know the
already
answer.
know who that one is too.
too. Well, that's not your question, Shane. Your question is where did Josh Allen go to college?
I know.
Josh Allen?
It's been said like 1,000 times.
I don't know college people. That doesn't.
If you watch the start of the game.
Yeah, I don't really watch the start of the Bills game very often.
Ooh, can I give him a hint?
How
Yes,
about you
go
just
for
take it?
This was my dream job growing up.
Disney World?
Stripper?
Jeez.
Going to the moon?
Oh,
Texas?
sorry. My bad.
Texas?
Exotic answer. My bad. No, wrong.
Well, you said it was your dream job. I thought astronaut.
Oh, how many schools do you know with a mascot of an astronaut?
I was just thinking Texas because NASA's there.
Oh, well.
You need the mascot? Did we give him the mascot?
I don't know.
No. You
Cowboys.
did it.
It's a cowboy?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck in Texas, apparently.
Yeah, no. You're gonna have to pass it
Yeah,
here.
I said pass.
Okay. Tyler?
What is Wyoming?
Correct.
Yeah, see, would never
All
gotten
right.
that.
Matt.
Yep.
Tyler Murray.
Tyler Murray?
Yep.
Did he play for... I'm not going to say Arizona.
No,
That's my first... I was like, oh, it's got to be Arizona.
he was one of two. I can think of.
Can I buy a
Consonant? How much are you gonna buy it for?
Yeah, we can give you one of the two first too because they changed recently. They're in the SEC now, but they were in the Big 12.
Oh, jeez. SEC 12. And I
You
gotta
know the
think through
change is
the
that
crap
there's
too.
only two of them.
Yeah.
I have two options here.
I can't even think of which two it would be.
I'm torn between two.
Oh,
but
oh,
I don't know anything about
I know one of them,
It's-
but I don't think it's right.
I know they switched. I just don't know if it's one of the two. Is it the Aggies?
It is not.
Oh,
Is one of the two teams that switched Texas?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
But it's-
Crap, I
he did
can't think
not-
of the other one though.
Pick,
And the
It's
other
not
one,
Texas, is it?
pick me, pick me, pick me.
it's not. It's not Texas. All right,
Crap,
Shane.
it's the other
All right,
one.
so
Not
it starts
Texas?
with an O. It's either Oklahoma or Ohio, but
Oh.
Ohio, I think it's been basically Fields and C.J. Stroud, so I don't think it's Murray. So I'm gonna go with Oklahoma.
You'd be correct. It is Oklahoma.
Heck yeah.
Ah, well done.
All right, we need to wrap it up because we are overtime.
Yep. Let's do it. We'll have each of you do just one more. Sound good?
Yep. Sounds good.
I will
Okay,
pass
all
on
right,
one
let's-
more after that one.
Lightning.
No. You know, just for that, Shane, we're gonna do this one. Where did Patrick Mahomes go to college?
Oh, gross.
Texas.
No one cares.
What do you say?
Texas.
Which
quite.
which?
What?
Texas.
Texas what?
Oh, was it A&M or State? I think it was State. No,
No, it's not
No.
either.
there's
It's
a
neither
third
one of
Texas,
those.
isn't there?
There is.
Yep.
Texas
And
Tech.
there's
Hey.
TNT.
Gross.
okay. All right. Let's see. And Tyler. Let's look at. Oh man, I gotta just want to shoot. Kirk Cousins.
Oh, he oh. I know we should know this one. Oh, it's my boys, Michigan State.
There you go.
Yep.
You got it.
I was
You
saying
got
it's
it.
the opposite of where Tom Brady, or rivals
All
where
right,
Tom Brady went.
and Matt.
Did T. Brady go to Michigan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Matt. Okay, I got torn between two here. Let's see. Do you want? I'm going to give you the option. You can pick one of them. Do you want Brock Purdy or do you want Lamar Jackson?
I know Brock Purdy went to Iowa.
You did not.
Did he not go to Iowa?
You did not go to
Ohio?
Iowa. Nope. You were close with Iowa.
Is it Iowa State?
Went to Iowa State.
Freaking stupid.
All right, and to wrap it up, can anyone tell me where Lamar Jackson went to college?
Your mom's house.
Yamar May Jackson. Was it somewhere in
Lamar-
Florida?
No, Lamar Jackson went to Louisville.
I was
Louisville.
gonna say
Yeah.
he was a bird, wasn't he?
Whoa.
For a second there, I thought he didn't go, but I was like, I don't think anyone's done that in NFL.
He had the Heisman while he was there.
Yeah.
All
What
right,
year? When did
that's
he
it.
join the NFL? How old is Lamar?
March 28th.
He
Okay.
came back in like 2013, 2014.
Yeah, he's been there a while.
In the NFL?
I think
Yeah.
so. No.
Oh, he was drafted in 20. He was drafted the same year as Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield and
Oh,
Sam Darnold.
Oh,
he was in the draft class for like. Okay, I don't know what I
I
was
think-
thinking. I thought
That's the 2018 draft class.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was either 18 or 17.
That's the 18
20.
draft class.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I don't know.
That was a
I
heck of a
but-
draft class.
Oh yeah.
All right. With that,
Cool,
everyone,
y'all.
that's going to wrap up our episode for the week.
Good stuff.
All right, and we will see you guys after Wildcard Weekend.